I don't know why, but it's feeling weird for me to do the things that I enjoy, the things that make me happy. I don't know. Let's just get right into the episode and talk about it. Thank you so much for tuning into the Mommy and Then Some podcast. If you are new here, I'm your host, Mommy Naya, or you can call me Naya. I'm a stay-at-home mom of 2, and I'm going through this journey right now of just learning who I am, doing the things that I love to do again, aside from just being a mom. Because at one point, I remember just being like, I'm just a mom and just rattling off a whole bunch of things that I do related to motherhood. So in my last podcast episode, I actually gave the homework to, if you're feeling lost within motherhood, or you don't know how to find joy anymore, or even how to describe yourself outside of motherhood, I gave the homework to start off by writing out the things that you enjoy. Start off by writing out the things that you like to do. Simple. Let me know down in the comments if that is something that you did, because I want to know. I came up with about 15 to 16 things. That's the episode for next week, where we're just going to discuss those things and basically what to do with those things and how to start, incorporating it into our life. But again, I couldn't get a homework without doing it myself. And as I'm trying out those things again and going back into those things that I like, that I love, I feel so weird about it. Like, I feel good, don't get me wrong, because I'm like, ooh, like I could take a breather. I could take a moment for me and just do, like what I want to do, what I like to do, what's making me happy. Like me putting on earrings, me wearing something as simple as me wearing jewelry, like me picking up a book and reading for maybe 10 to 15 minutes. Like, it's making me feel so good, but it's also making me feel weird and tap into different things in my life that I don't think that I've addressed. So let's just get right into it. So for example, I'm just learning again, like who I am as a person, what I like, what I don't like. And sometimes I have like, I just have a hard time with processing how other people may take that. And I know, listen, mama, I know at the end of the day, you can't really care what people got to say. Okay? You can't. But I'm a person that truthfully, sometimes I do. You don't want to be judged. You don't want to be looked at like an outsider, or that you're different, right? And that's how I'll feel sometimes, even though I'm very different in personality. Like, I'm just different. I do consider myself a little different. I mean, all of us are different, but sometimes that's just how I feel. Let me just do that before I start going on a rant. And like I said, I just started going deeper about certain things, even related to like my beliefs growing up. So I'm gonna just be transparent. I grew up Jehovah's Witness, and right now at the time I'm not practicing, or I'm not doing that. But you still sometimes have to ask the question as to why aren't you doing it? Why aren't you like going with the way that you were taught? So yeah, you have the thought process about finding out how you can make it your own, whatever you've been taught, whether that's religious, whatever values in life that you're taught or that are put upon you, that we've learned as we've grown up. You do have to sit back and ask, like, well, why do I believe this? Aside from just being like, oh, because I was taught this, And it's funny because even related to certain things, for example, with my spouse that I may enjoy. So for instance, you see I got weave in my hair right now, for those that are on YouTube watching. And my spouse really doesn't care for weave a lot. Now, I don't wear it a lot. Most of the time, my styles with weave consist of braids. And honestly, I'm not letting go of my braids. I like my braids. I like that it protects my hair for the time being, that it's going to protect it. Like, that is something I enjoy, something that I like. So again, not to like step on toes. I don't want to step on toes, because at the end of the day, you can't have that mentality like, oh, well, I'm going to do what I'm going to do because I like this. Well, your spouse is with you for a reason, and they have their preferences just the same way you have your preferences. So there has to be some type of balance or compromise to it. But I feel like you just can't stop what you're doing or suppress or silence how you may feel about the things that you enjoy or that you like, because of what somebody else got to say, you know? And like I said, to me, it's just like just going down that rabbit hole and just doing a lot of look, that's just how much I'm just in awe with this new life, I guess, that I'm coming into. I'm just flourishing into the woman that I know that I want to be, and so on and so forth. Like, it's just wow. Mama, that's what I just want to come on here and say. Today's episode, that's literally what I want to express about how I have just been like, wow, like you really have to sit back and figure out what you're gonna do, make up your mind about it, and do it remorsefully, like without remorse, basically. And when I say without remorse, whether that be, feeling like somebody else is gonna be sad about it, whether you do it and now you're feeling some type of way, because that's another thing. Like, if you do something and then you are looking back like, oh, I shouldn't have did that, or I felt bad doing it, you still, like, the biggest thing there is to be like, oh, well, why did I do this? Why do I want to do something? I feel like having purpose behind something definitely is important, And that's just kind of like the season that I've been in, with me trying to figure out the things that I like, the things that I love. I'm just like, wow, like this feels good. This is something like that I've always wanted to do. Not that my family and friends aren't supportive at all, but of course, everybody has their opinion. So even the topic, like, there are certain things that bother me right now mentally. I don't think that I'm ready to have another baby, but my spouse does, and I want to be able to provide that for him. He wants that big family. Clearly, that's how we gonna make that happen. So on one end, it's like, well, dang, if I say that I don't want another baby, again, a thought process that I'm having that I want to do. If I say that I don't want to have the baby, is my spouse going to feel the ways? And of course, because of who I am, I don't want him to feel the ways or feel some kind of way about it. And then on the adverse, I do think about my mom. So even though, yes, my mom is not in my relationship, she can't really control what's going on in my life or what I decide to do with my children, with my spouse, whatever. It's still just that thought process to be like, oh, wow, like the people that are close to you, the people that you love, that you cherish, just that thought about what they may think really does, I don't know, I feel like it plays a role. It plays a role in decisions that are being made. But again, I'm just coming into this season, for instance, even with religiously, just coming into the season about figuring out what works for me and how it may serve me. Now, you can't please everybody, like, you're gonna have your own thoughts, you're gonna have your own feelings about what you want to do in life. Like, that's just the reality of it. But you have to figure out what you're going to do and how it's going to serve you and yours. That's just like, mama, when I say that I have been contemplating hard, just kind of get back into thinking and journaling, and I've been contemplating like, wow, like these are the things that I really want to do. If I sit here and make this decision, I really have to figure out how this can serve me versus how it may make other people feel. And at the end of the day, feeling like, oh, well, I'm not fulfilled because I try to make somebody else happy. That is the worst feeling that you can have. Like, I'm sitting here feeling unhappy because I decided to go with a decision, again, whether that's my mama, my spouse, my grandparents, my cousins, whoever, but they not living my life, Drop in the comments down below. You can always email me, reach out to me on my socials. I will put them up on the screen just so you can see them, and they will also be in the description. But let me just know how you feel with this. Like, have you ever struggled with, like that battle between doing something that you love, something that you like, and not basically stepping on toes in a way? Of course, I know some people are more like, oh, F them, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. This is my life. Like, I know some people are like that more than others, but I am just a person that loves, like, what word am I looking for? Just, like, you just don't want to step on toes, or you just don't want to cause any discombobulation, I guess, to call it, for lack of a better word right now. You just don't want to cause any drama between people, whether that be you and somebody else or whatever. So, I just been going down this rabbit hole, y'all, and I've been loving it. I ain't even gonna lie, I've been loving it, standing firm in like the decisions that I, choose to make. But it is also, like I said, it just feels weird because I start touching on certain things that I kind of been avoiding for a little bit, which is like, no, like you have to make that decision, especially when you do have a family, especially when you are raising or having little people looking up to you as well, because you want to instill that in them to be able to make the decision that they want to make based off of their feeling. Like, of course it's okay to be talking to your friends or family or getting insight, intellect from other people. But make sure you step outside of that sometimes too. Do your own research. Take what people are saying with a grain of salt in a way, not ignoring them, but take it and just be like, oh, okay, this is what they mean. Okay, let me go look at this for myself. Let me internalize it. Let me figure it out for myself and then make that decision. And that's kind of what I've been in, no matter who you are, I think it's a level of respect, for instance, too, where, like I said, okay, let's just go back religiously with my grandparents, and there's a level of respect. And of course, grandparents are going to do what they're going to do just by nature. People that are religious, you may know when you're going through certain things where you may not want to touch into the religious aspect of the family or however you were raised. People have their questions or they're trying to egg you to come back and do as they're supposed to, in my head, as a family, without just trying to be like, look, no, I said no, like, I don't want to do that right now. I feel like you finding out why or why not for your reasoning as to something that you may want to do or you don't want to do may help you explain that a little better versus getting frustrated, which sometimes I feel like I have, where, I'm like, no, I just don't want to do that. Or I'll just, again, me trying to be respectful too, just silently be like, no. I always think about going back to the Kingdom Hall, for example, but right now I'm just not doing it, So it's that too, just the level of respect depending on the circumstance too. It's just so much. When I say I have been in love with this newfound me, just saying like, okay, I'm not going to put my time towards this right now. I'm going to at least spend maybe 10 to 15 minutes working on myself or doing something that I enjoy. And I've been loving it. Why did I make that decision? Because of this. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just feels so I love it. But mama, please be sure to let me know in the comments if you have done your homework on the things that you like or enjoy. Let me know if you struggled with this before and how did you overcome it, because I'm open to certain things. Like I said, I have my few ways that I'm starting to tap into addressing those issues, but how did you overcome the situation about feeling a ways about what somebody else may feel when it comes to decisions that you make in your life? Let me know. Let's engage. I want to know because this is so interesting. As always, mama, I just want to make sure that you know that you are loved, heard, seen, understood. You are never alone, mama. Never alone. You subscribe on YouTube, like this video. You can comment down below. I am on Spotify and Apple Podcasts as the same, Mommy and Then Some. And you can comment on those platforms as well. Engage with me. Let me know. Soon I will be opening up my own Facebook group, and I will be tapping into some other social media forums as well. So stay tuned for that. And as always, mama, thank you so much for tuning into the Mommy and Then Some podcast. The biggest thanks, or the biggest way that you can show appreciation, is making sure you subscribe, follow, and share this video with another mama so we can build our community, talk about the things that, is not talked about enough. And I definitely am open to feedback. I am open to topic discussions. You can email me, reach me on my DMs, reach me on my socials. Let me know. See you in the next episode.